friends, and acting like you know what's going on until you actually learn what's going on. Spain taught me that teenage drama is universal because they still had it, but they honestly acted like adults about it. A lot of petty conflicts that would explode here were pretty calm there. Spain taught me that while we could totally go to McDonald's every day, and we did most days, there are cathedrals, museums, and decades-old family-owned tapas restaurants right next door that will provide you with an ever-surprising taste of the culture. I learned to nod as I followed through tiny streets and shuffled through historic castles, because as much as I wanted to constantly ask where we were going and what I was going to expect when we got there, I knew I had to work against my visceral need to know and take in all I could with all my senses. I learned two main things. I need to have confidence, even though I wanted to. I was super, super self-conscious about speaking Spanish like all the time. I know I should have or could have let go of the fear of what people were gonna say a lot earlier in the trip, but I didn't. And secondly, I learned to use all my senses. And in the moments where I could be texting my friends back here, I would just tuck my phone in my pocket and experience the streets of Sevilla, inhabited by children and teenagers, but still providing a view centuries back. Thank you.
My name is Lily, and I went to Hungary. I knew my destination was to get hungry. What I did not know is the amazing people and culture I would experience there. I became really close with the Hungarian exchange students during their stay here and was very excited to spend time with them once again. I discovered Szeged, Hungary was full of caring host families, intelligent classmates, and beautiful places that captures the eye. The history is rich, and the culture is even richer.
My name is Lami, and I went to Tangier in Morocco. At the start of the exchange program, I only knew my destination to be somewhere between Europe and the rest of Africa. I've never experienced living in a Muslim country, and I didn't know what to expect going to Morocco as a young Asian female. During the program, I got to experience the beautifully diverse culture in Tangier and join AST's Feminism Club in their trips to the local women's shelter. I found my destination to be in the friendships I formed and the new perspective I gained by immersing in Moroccan culture and learning about Moroccan history.
I'm Charlotte, and I went to Sevilla, Spain. Going into my exchange, all I knew was that I was going to live in an apartment and go to public school in the city of Sevilla, Spain, both things that I had never experienced before. Even though I'd been taking Spanish since the fifth grade, I worried that I wouldn't be able to connect or communicate as well as I hoped to in Spanish. Nonetheless, my worries fell away within the first couple of days in the city, and I fell in love with Sevilla. I fell in love with Sevilla's cobblestone roads and courtyards and extremely spirited soccer fans, the crazy citywide traditions, and in addition to my host family, who welcomed me with open arms. Never would I have thought that I would have been able to say by the end of my exchange that I truly have a second family. Actually, Jesus, my host brother, just texted me yesterday, and the text started with, "Hey sis, how are you?" He responds in English, and I respond in Spanish. It's actually the coolest thing ever.
Hello, my name is Andrew Frente, and I went on exchange to Morocco. While on exchange last year during spring break, I did not really know what to expect. I traveled to Tangier, Morocco, which is located in northern Africa. This was a completely new place for me, and I was almost ready for anything. When I arrived to Morocco, I was most surprised by the beautiful mountainsides and the amazing sunsets. I met my host family and we stayed in the city, which was really cool because we got to walk around to all the different stores and shops. One thing I learned while on my trip was that people are people, no matter where they're from. For example, when I arrived at the school called American School of Tangier, or AST for short, which was where I attended, I found that my classmates and I had many things in common, like music, TV shows. We also watched Rick and Morty and The Big Bang Theory, and even sports we played. Overall, it was a great experience, and I encourage all of you to try it one day.
My name is Taylor, and I went to Maropula School in Botswana. Before my exchange experience, I pictured Africa much like most of you probably do. I imagined miles of open grassland with all kinds of wild animals. And granted, there was plenty of that. Gaborone was a beautiful city filled with incredible people. Botswana isn't just another place I can say I've traveled to, but it's a memory of the 4 weeks I spent exploring a country so unknown to me and meeting unforgettable people. It's a place where I learned that you can find a part of yourself while getting lost in new cultures and new experiences.
Hi guys, I'm Liza and I'm from Hungary. I've been here for 2 months and I'm having a great experience. I'm living my best life and it's because of you guys, so thank you. Yeah. On my first couple of days here, I was so nervous to talk to anyone. I was afraid that I'll use incorrect grammar or just say something stupid, but little did I know, nobody cares. As I made my way around campus, I discovered and greatly appreciated the extremely friendly faculty, the enormous campus, and the friendly squirrels. I love them. There's so many things that are beyond my expectations. For example, the classes are really exciting, believe me. The food is wonderful, especially the brownies, and who knew that blondies exist, because it's not me. The first thing that I noticed was when I arrived on campus was the family-like and diverse Brooks community. I cannot describe it in one word, but maybe this short story will help. So one day, I was sitting in the dining hall with my new friends here and old friends from Hungary, and at the dinner table, eating grilled cheese or something like that. I sat back and just watched those people talking over each other across the table, gesturing and yelling wildly with joy in Hungarian, English, and definitely Chinese. We laughed and talked until everybody around us left the dining hall, and that was the point I realized that there's no place I'd rather be. Thank you.
I'm Gabe, and over the summer, I went to Lima, Peru. There are a lot of reasons kids go on exchange. Some go to improve their fluency in a language, some want to see a certain monument, and some just want to see a new place. For me, I wanted to go on exchange because I talked to Will about going, and he said he loved it, so I figured I'd give it a try. During the week before Vicky and I left for Lima, my expectations were to go to school, see Machu Picchu, and stay with a host family. Now, all that stuff did happen, and it was fun, but what I remember most and what sticks with me were the people. Everybody was so welcoming, from when Rodrigo and Isabella's families came to pick us up at the airport, to all the kids in the classroom throwing us a welcoming party when we first arrived. Even Machu Picchu was an amazing experience, mainly because our guide, who was a teacher at the school, planned and made the trip so eventful. On weekends, almost every kid in the grade would be at someone's house having fun together. And everybody was just so lively, together, and close-knit, and it was probably because they were in the World Cup. But they were always helping us make our exchange the best it could be. One thing I think is important to share with you guys that I learned on this trip was saying goodbye is one of the hardest things to do in life. After a month of making a friend group, having a brother in Rodrigo, and being a part of a community, I had to say bye to all of that at once, knowing chances are I probably won't see them for a very long time. Goodbyes are tough, and I can't even begin to think how I'm going to be able to say goodbye to everyone here when we graduate. Thanks.
Thank you, everybody. I'm Mr. McLean. I have an exchange story, too. When I was in high school, I went on an exchange to a high school in Celaya, Mexico. And that's in the small rural state of Guanajuato. And I knew all of this, kind of, read the information in the atlas and stuff like that. But it turns out, the thing that sticks with me, and it's related today, so I'm so pleased that Exceedi put this together for us. One of the first places my host family took me was to a place that I remember being called the Museo de las Momias, the Museum of the Mummies. And it was Sunday afternoon, Everyone was wearing their best clothes. This was going to be really fun. And we got there. It's a place, it's a former convent, as I remember, and all kinds of pre-Columbian and colonial remains are there kind of on display. And that was something I had never experienced before. And so my gringo preparation for this wasn't that great. And I looked around, and my family was pretty large, and the younger sister was 10 years old. And I was like, oh my gosh, how is this going to be? And she was in heaven. And I realized this was a meaningful, happy, great experience that they wanted to share with me from their heart. And that was just the first, wow, I need to really pay attention to this. I've studied Spanish, I've done all this stuff, but this is so cool, and I'm stepping out of my comfort zone, and I need to forget everything that I thought I knew. So thank you for bringing that in here. The exchange program is very important to Brooks because we all take part in it. It's part of the meaningful education here that we meet strangers and come to know them and make ourselves known as well. We make connections. We try to be our true selves and come to know more about who that is. And in doing so, we have the chance to bring real, honest love and truth into the world. So it's the season for exchange programs applications, and I strongly encourage you all to learn more about the program and consider applying yourself, either this year, some other time, or to seek out an experience like this whenever you get the chance. In one sense, you'll know where you're going when you set off, but really, you can't. And that's the whole point. Thank you.